Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So right now on social media, it's making its rounds in regards to Democrats openly calling for the armed forces to refuse to follow orders, and Trump had responded, and then there was another response from the Democrats. So let's go first see why Trump was responding to this. So we're gonna go ahead and watch that first, and then we're gonna see what made him want to respond.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military,
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
So you've seen that. So this is what Trump was responding to. So let's go ahead and look at his response. Now this is coming from CBS News. Trump accuses Democrats of seditious behavior over video telling military to refuse illegal orders. So let's go ahead and play the video now.
White House right now, where President Donald Trump has more harsh words for House Democrats. So get this. The president is angered by a Washington newspaper's report saying that some Democratic lawmakers released a video urging members of the military to ignore unlawful orders. In fact, look at this. Trump said on Truth Social this morning, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." And then, a short time later, the president finished with this thought: seditious behavior, punishable by death.
Which I believe that's true. I believe that that's what's written in the laws, that when you do that, that's what it is. It's kind of like saying, if somebody murks somebody, they might have the death penalty depending on the state, right? I mean, you're just stating a fact.
Heavy words there. Let's talk about them. CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman joins us now from the White House. So, Willie, take us through what prompted these posts from the president. He is clearly triggered by something.
Yeah, that's right.
So those were the posts, right? And I'll let this keep playing because I know he's probably going to explain, but I also want to get to this other video because after this, of Chuck Schumer losing his ish.
Reed, well, this video was posted on social media. Democratic lawmakers who also served in the military posting this message to troops, saying essentially that they don't have to follow an unlawful order. Then you saw Trump's response, posting the Washington Examiner article about that social media post and calling for these Democratic officials, saying that their behavior is seditious and punishable by death. Now, we are seeing a response from House Democratic leadership who are calling on the president to take this post down. They go into a statement. They say they condemn the president's disgusting and dangerous death threats against members of Congress and call on the House Republicans to forcefully do the same. They then go on to, as I mentioned, call the president to take the post down, calling it an unhinged social media post, and for him to recant his violent rhetoric before someone gets killed. Now, I'll note that Speaker Johnson, the leader of the Republicans in the House, is also responding to this as well. When he was asked about the punishable by death part of the president's statement, he essentially said that the president was defining the crime of sedition. He then goes on to tell reporters in this exchange there on Capitol Hill that it was wildly inappropriate, talking about the video that was put out by the Democrats, and that the DOJ and the Pentagon are reviewing the matter. So a lot of moving parts with this developing story, and we'll of course monitor it. And I anticipate that the press secretary will be asked about this when she takes to the podium there in the next coming minutes. Once we see her, we'll of course bring you any developments that happens with this story, Reed.
And we.
So yeah, so this is what they were explaining why he said what he said, right? So we have this, which is, let me see, where is it? Oh, here. So we're going to get to his video first, and then we'll get to the last thing I wanted to show you guys. But we have Chuck Schumer losing his ish, right, guys? Because, it wouldn't be a meltdown if the Democrats weren't losing their issues. Am I right? And so this video is from Forbes Breaking News. Chuck Schumer eviscerates Trump after he shares post calling for Democrats to be hanged. So I don't know why they worded it that way, because I feel like if you see the next video I'm going to show you guys, you're going to look at this and be like, the heck is he talking about? But let's go.
Mr. President,
Democrat leaders recognized.
Earlier today, Donald Trump shared a post on Truth Social calling for Democratic members of Congress to be hanged. He also posted a message that said, seditious behavior, punishable by death. Let's be crystal clear. The President of the United States is calling for the execution of elected officials. This is an outright threat, and it's deadly serious. We have already seen what happens when Donald Trump tells his followers that his political opponents are enemies of the state. Every time Donald Trump posts things like this, he makes political violence more likely. None of us should tolerate this kind of behavior. We all remember what January 6th was like.
Of course, he would bring up January 6th. And we're finding out that it was actually something that was, again, conspiracy hats, guys. But we might have an Alex Jones was right jar for this one. That there was a lot of FBI and CIA there, stirring that pot. You know what I'm saying? And again, I've told you guys this before. For the ones that were actually being violent, yes, they deserve jail time, but they also deserve due process, since the left is so big on that, which they didn't get. But you also had a lot of grannies walking through the front door getting tours from the police officers. They don't deserve to go to prison. And I don't think you could compare January 6th to all the times that you had the left do take over buildings like the Capitol, or when they had the Summer of Love 2.0, and then the recent one that we're having with all the ICE crap right now, the Chaz Chop situation, them burning down a church. I'm sorry, that's way worse than January 6th. And that's not including the George Floyd riots as well. So his statement is stupid. And none of the cops were hurt, okay? And the only person murked that day was a Trump supporter, Ashley Babbitt, which they never mentioned her name, who was murked by an overzealous police officer, Capitol police officer, who, murked an unarmed woman. Let's just be honest with that. That's what happened to her. But of course, they're not going to say that, because they like to, come up with all these lies. But let's keep going.
Through January 6th, we have lived through the assassination and attempt.
Assassination, eh? So are you talking about the one that happened to Trump by a Democratic supporter? Or are you talking about Charlie Kirk, who you guys refused to give a moment of silence to, who was murked by also a lefty, a Democrat?
Assassinations this year. We have members whose families have had to flee their homes. When Donald Trump uses the language of execution and treason, some of his supporters may very well listen. He is lighting a match in a country soaked with political gasoline. Every senator, every representative, every American, regardless of party, should condemn this immediately and without qualification. Because if we don't draw a line here, there is no line left to draw. Who would have thought the President of the United States...
This is coming from him and other Democratic presidents calling the right maggots instead of MAGA. Calling them alt-right, calling them white supremacists, neo-Nazis, calling them Gestapo. I mean, I could keep going. So who should be really turning down the rhetoric? Because of them, ICE has an 8,000% uptake in violence towards them. Who is he talking about? Because he's literally saying Trump and the Republicans and MAGA supporters are going to be the ones lighting this tinderbox. Y'all already lit it. We're not the ones throwing gasoline on it.
United States saying his opponent should be hanged. It's outrageous. No president has ever stooped as low as Donald Trump. None. He has made political violence a feature of his politics. And if we don't draw a line here, there's no line left to draw. And yet today, he crossed yet another line that no democracy can afford to tolerate. He must be condemned forcefully, loudly, and without excuses before someone takes his words as permission to do the unthinkable.
Yeah, we're not going to listen to him because they never walk back anything. Like, they were just in Congress backing up that one chick, I think her last name was Pickett or something like that, who literally was taking text messages from a pedo. I don't have my congressman's phone number. I can't, outright text him to his personal device. So that's kind of weird, guys. It's kind of weird. But let's go ahead and get to my favorite part, which is, how he's talking about Trump and, the MAGA supporters and the Republicans. Yeah, maybe they should take, really think about what they're saying. Now, this is from Free State Daily, Democrat leaders and media calling for violence. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they say.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
That's it right there. Pull it up.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
If Latinos sit out the election, instead of saying we're going to punish our enemies and we're going to reward our friends who stand with us on issues that are important to us, if they don't see that kind of upsurge in voting in this election, then I think it's going to be hard.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant
in a department store, at a gasoline station. You get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
We talk to these folks because they potentially have the best answers, so I know who's asked to kick.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I want you to argue with them and get in their face.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and/or the Senate, that's when civility can start again. But until then, the only thing that the Republicans seem to recognize and respect is strength.
So who is Chuck Schumer really talking about? Because again, it's not the right that is making comments like this. You know, it's always the left, you know, and eventually the people on the right are going to get sick and tired of being pushed around, being bullied, being spat at, being hit, you know. And I'm not calling for violence. I think there should be a more peaceful way to handle these things. But the thing is that when you trap somebody, they're going to have nothing left to do but fight for survival. And I really hope we don't get to this point because, like I said before, guys, we're tipping, you know, we're like teetering right now. And at any moment, any little thing could, you know, set that tinderbox on fire that, you know, the left has been pouring gasoline on and cause an outright civil war. So it's getting really hot and really fast, and it's crazy to see this in real time. So, you know, I wanted to show you guys, you know, how much of a hypocrite the left is by showing you guys these clips, because this proves a point. They never call out their side. They're always trying to call out the Republicans and always want the Republicans to apologize or disavow, but they never do it for their side, which is ridiculous. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What your thoughts are about this. Do you think Trump went too far? Do you think he didn't go far enough? You know, just let me know what you guys are thinking. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys.